Probably nowhere else in the world are there so many different modes of transportation as in Hong Kong. Public transport is not only inexpensive, but it can take you quickly and easily to many places that may not be included in organised tours. The most extensive transport network is the Mass Transit Railway, or the MTR as it is known locally. This fast and clean underground system runs along the busy northern coastline of Hong Kong Island. It crosses beneath the harbour, and a new extension creates a circle which runs through the busiest shopping areas of Hong Kong and Kowloon. There's an extension into the factory areas of Tsuen Wan. Also, at each station, you'll find an easy-to-read map displaying the cost of the fares to each destination. Put the correct change in the ticket issuing machines, and your magnetic ticket allows you through the turnstiles. At the end of your journey, the turnstile will collect your ticket. However, there is a tourist ticket for both the MTR and the Kowloon Canton Railway. At Kowloon Tong Station, there is an interchange with the Kowloon Canton Railway. Called the KCR, it takes you through the centre of the new territories and right up to the border with China. From the terminus at Hung Hom in Tsim Sha Tsui, you can also catch direct trains through to Canton, China. For a glimpse of the rural past, a trip to the border with China on the air-conditioned KCR could be the answer. Buses are also an excellent and cheap way to get about Hong Kong. The buses all run to set and regular routes, and the Tourist Association office will give you a pamphlet covering bus travel on both sides of the harbour. A ride on the top deck of a double-decker bus can be an exhilarating experience on Hong Kong's winding roads. Also travelling regular routes are the minibuses, easily identifiable with their red or green stripes. These 14-seater buses are looked on as a feeder service. Taxis in Hong Kong are still amongst the cheapest in the world. The red urban taxis all use meters marked in Hong Kong dollars to give you the exact fare, although a few loose coins as a tip are always welcomed. Still very much on the ground is the ubiquitous Hong Kong tram, one of the 3 tramway systems in the territory. The Hong Kong Tramway Company traces its history back to 1904. The double-decker trams rumble their way along the northern side of Hong Kong, from Kennedy Town in the west all the way to Shau Kei Wan in the east, passing through the most busy thoroughfares. The ever-popular Peak Tram has recently been modernised. It's a breathtaking trip from the lower station in Garden Road, just opposite the American Consulate, to the top of Victoria Peak and panoramic views of Hong Kong. The Peak Tram has been in operation continuously since it was completed in 1888. The very latest tram system is the light rail system, fast air-conditioned streetcars running between the new territories towns of Yuen Long and Tuen Mun. For the visitor, Hong Kong can often be best seen from the water. The famous Star Ferry runs between Hong Kong and Kowloon on a continuous schedule, with others running to Hung Hom and to the Wan Chai waterfront. From the Hong Kong Ferry Pier, there's also a hovercraft service across to the shopping and business district of Tsim Sha Tsui East. The Hong Kong Ferry Company provides regular services to all the popular outlying islands, to Lama, Lantau and Peng Chau, as well as hover ferry services to other island communities. Be careful though not to get stranded on one of the islands. Most schedules can be obtained from the HKTA offices or go directly to the companies. A more leisurely form of transport in old Hong Kong was the rickshaw. Be forewarned though that most rickshaw boys are not so much prepared to transport people today as they are for a photo session. Always agree on a price beforehand. Travelling underground, above ground, or on the waters of Hong Kong is an experience you shouldn't miss.
the next half hour, find out which territory sells more radios than Japan and more watches than Switzerland. From toys to high fashion and exquisite jewellery, they're all on show here in Hong Kong. We'll tell you when. And see how much fun Cantonese can be.
Ho, ho,
All this and more only on the Hong Kong channel.
Like many other places, Hong Kong has its own traditions and cultural legacies, many of them naturally enough inherited from China. Folklore and legends still play a major role in the day-to-day life of the people of Hong Kong. The New Year, for instance, begins not on January the 1st, but with the Lunar New Year, usually in late January or early February. Chinese New Year marks a new beginning. It's a time to clear old debts, a time to buy new clothes, to renew family ties. Cards are exchanged to wish everyone prosperity, and among relatives and close friends, gifts of material or food are exchanged. Red packets stuffed with lucky money or lai si are a main feature of Chinese New Year. Tradition has it the money should be new shiny coins or crisp banknotes. Children and single people are the main recipients of lai si, although it's not unusual to see the more prosperous hand out red envelopes to close friends and relatives and members of their staff. Visually, Chinese New Year is a riot of colour. Fireworks have always been linked with Chinese New Year, and most years there's a huge fireworks display held on barges in the centre of the harbour. Commercial buildings are decorated with coloured lights, and the whole atmosphere is one of Fantasyland. The festivals of Qingming in the spring around Easter and Chongyang in the fall are traditional memorial days for the Chinese. These are times when the entire family will visit cemeteries to clean the grave sites of departed relatives and pay their respects with small offerings. Although a solemn occasion, it's also looked on as a day's outing and very often becomes a family picnic. The Bun Festival, held on the tiny dumbbell-shaped island of Cheung Chau, just west of Hong Kong, takes place just before summer. It's one of the few homegrown festivals, celebrated only in Hong Kong over a period of 7 days in late April or early May. Some say the festival is to placate the ghosts of islanders massacred by pirates who infested the waters of Hong Kong over a century ago. Others say the ghosts are the spirits of animals and fish killed and eaten throughout the year. Huge bamboo structures are erected and covered with freshly baked pink and white buns. The festival includes a procession through the narrow streets of Cheung Chau. A unique feature of the parade are young children carried aloft on poles and supported by an intricate system of wires and rods. With lion, unicorn and dragon dances, the event quickly develops a carnival atmosphere, with participants and spectators rewarded with buns handed out by officials. The Dragon Boat Festival is one held mainly in June and marks the death of an ancient Chinese minister who drowned himself rather than serve a tyrannical master. Once each year, the long, thin dragon boats take part in regattas all around Hong Kong, symbolizing the attempts of villagers paddling furiously to try and save the life of the drowning man. Fishermen's clubs and associations compete against crews from many other walks of life in a series of heats before meeting in a final competition. So popular has the Dragon Boat Festival become that international races are now held, with teams from around the world competing in this picturesque and colourful water sports festival. The dragon boats are built to strict specifications to carry a crew of 22, including the drummer and the coxswain. The international races raise considerable sums of money for local charities. And finally, to the Moon Festival, which occurs in late September or early October. Families all gather to observe the new moon. It's a time for children, who all carry small paper mache or cellophane lanterns made in the shape of butterflies, rabbits, fish, or modern objects like cars and aeroplanes. Special mooncakes are baked for the occasion. The lighted lanterns combine to create a fairy tale atmosphere in open spaces throughout the territory, lending to the party spirit that continues well on into the early hours. In Hong Kong, culture and traditions are still very much part of the way of life.
Hi, if you want to pick up a few useful phrases in Cantonese, such as good morning, thank you, goodbye, stay tuned to the Hong Kong channel. I'll be there.
Explore Hong Kong with the people who know it best. The Hong Kong Tourist Association is here to help you discover the sights and sounds that make Hong Kong one of Asia's most exciting destinations. Visit our information centres on either side of the harbour or call our multilingual hotlines. Look for our red junk logo when you're out shopping. It's our endorsement of quality and good service. Hong Kong, we know you'll want to stay an extra day.
Here in Hong Kong, you'll be spoiled for choices on what to do and what to see. The tantalizing blend of Eastern and Western cultures has resulted in seemingly non-stop entertainment, from cultural events and exhibitions to classical music and dance. What better place to start than Hong Kong's new cultural center, a striking addition to the Kowloon skyline. The dramatic wing-shaped building each month plays host to a number of international and local stars and orchestras. On most days, there are cultural performances sponsored jointly by the center and the Hong Kong Tourist Association. Adjacent to the cultural center, you will find one of the world's most advanced planetariums. The Space Museum is fitted with a Sky Theater, which, with a little imagination, can take you to the far reaches of outer space. Hong Kong's history goes on show each day in the new Museum of History, which can be found within Kowloon Park, near Hai Phong Road. The museum houses objects and photographs illustrating Hong Kong's interesting, sometimes turbulent history, and there are constantly changing exhibitions. On Hong Kong Island, the performing arts can be found in a wide range of venues. Why not check first at the City Hall complex, right in the heart of Hong Kong, where the Urban Council organizes literally dozens of different performances each month. A short taxi ride down the waterfront will bring you to the new Center for Performing Arts, which during the day is a college of the arts for Hong Kong's young people. And across the road is the smaller but equally inviting Hong Kong Arts Center, where many of Hong Kong's artists, actors, and singers were given the opportunity to start their career. In the heart of the Hong Kong Park, a gracious old mansion has been turned into a museum of teaware, something very close to the hearts of all Chinese. It's believed the Chinese tradition of making tea can be traced back 5,000 years, and a large part of that history can be found in this museum. Why not take time as well to visit Ocean Park, one of the world's biggest oceanariums with daily performances by dolphins, sea lions, and killer whales. There's a separate water world with a wave pool and giant water slides.